Hi guys, this is me, Maria Meliora. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to embrace the spring cleaning spirit of the quarantine, and I want to show you all of the items that I acquired through my no-buy year that started last October. Just a short recap. I revised the rules of my no-buy year to have a strict no-buy for only certain categories where I think I'll really benefit from going cold turkey, such as perfumes, with gifts and exchanges and decants allowed. And the biggest change that I made was with clothing, because I realized, especially I traveled almost for a month and a half in Europe in November, December, and living out of a suitcase, let's just say I was happy to get home because I hated my clothing. By the end of it, I couldn't stand wearing the stuff that I wore for so often, for so long. I realized that I'm not really a capsule wardrobe kind of person. This is just like a nightmare scenario for me. So what I decided to do is that I'm allowed certain purchases. They have to be either better replacements of the category or the type of clothing item that I have or accessories, or they have to be truly very, very much on trend, wanted, something that I love, that is incremental to my wardrobe and that I'm ready to wear like that very instant. So let me show what I acquired and what I exchanged for what. The very first item is going to be these winter shoes. I know we're entering into basically spring right now, but like some places still have cold weather, and I know that Australia is entering fall. I love them. I got them for roughly $100 at DSW. That was the last pair. I'm not sure. I think the suede is natural material and the rest is synthetic materials. The story of these items is I was spending 2 weeks working from New York's office at the beginning of the year, and I took with me some basically mid heels for winter, and I was dying. My feet were dying. As beautiful as those were, I just couldn't wear them every day. It was lethal for my feet. So I decided, like, all right, if I find something that fits the wardrobe that I brought with me for 2 weeks to New York, I will just get some pair of shoes that has to be comfortable, it has to be cute, hopefully fashionable, but you know, at that point I care more about comfort and warmth than anything else. And believe it or not, I went through so many stores, I went through so many things. I obviously wanted a good deal, I wanted a good quality of materials, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. Nothing at all. I was very bullish about not buying black pair of shoes again, because I probably have most of my sort of cold weather shoes are black. So I was very adamant about finding something alternative, something incremental to my shoe collection. And when I found these, they are so comfy. And actually, my feet look really tiny in them. I don't know why. This is 6.5, and yet they look very, very petite. Maybe it's the fur that creates this kind of contrast of fluff versus the actual shape of the shoe. But I must say, I'm very happy with this purchase, and as I'm gonna show you a few others, you'll see how it all fits together. Okay, I hope you can hear me, because it's either you can see the outfit or I can stay closer, you can hear me, so it's a bit of a compromise. Anyway, so this is the dress that I got, which is for me like I love comfort sweater dresses, but I'm very tired of those shapeless, just kind of like tunics that, you know, don't really add anything to the style. And yet, with the bright hair that I've been sporting lately, I really wanted something neutral, something that would go with everything, something I could spice up with like a brooch or a scarf or a piece of jewelry. So gray, sort of the medium gray, is obviously a very classic choice outside of sort of the black paradigm. And this is the sweater dress. As you can see, it has two types of knit. A traditional kind of like jersey type, and a more thick, a bit of a ribbed one. So it's very tight to the skin, from the sort of the mid of the hip to the knee, and you can see how it goes with these shoes, right? Like, it's very simple, very monochromatic. You can very easily dress it up or down, and this is what I loved about it. And a special point to be made, this is natural fibers. I don't remember, I think a little bit of elastan, a little bit of cotton, a little bit of wool. So it's super, very cozy, very pleasant to wear. I love the turtleneck. I'm like the turtleneck queen. I can live in them all year. And I found it, I think it was Goodwill, for, I think roughly $7. I want to say $6, but maybe $7. Isn't that fascinating? Well, the kind of things you can sometimes find in thrift stores. Again, very simple, but I wore it without taking off for probably last 2 months. I just love it. It's so cozy. If it gets warm in California, I wear it as it is. If I need something warmer, I throw in a scarf or a jacket. It's just, oh, it's perfect. And yes, it does go with these shoes. The next one is this scarf, which is a merino wool that I got in London. When I was finishing my sort of November-December European work/leisure journey, I lost my just very generic black scarf that I had with me, only one. By the end of the trip, after a month and a half of travel, I was sick. I was just sick of blackness of my wardrobe. And yet most of the pieces were kind of like monochromatic, so I needed something that still fit into that story. And I found this monochromatic black, medium gray, light gray merino wool scarf. And as you know, merino wool, it's like the hug of a beloved mother. It's so good. And I like that it has a little bit of the kind of like three shades. It adds a teeny tiny element of texture to the otherwise very plain monochromatic color. This is like black and white movie, right? But yeah, again, it goes with everything. Incredibly soft. I think it cost me in London TK Maxx. It was not cheap actually, but this was the exact case when I decided to replace older item that I accidentally lost it in a restaurant. I think just forgot it behind, but for better. So my old scarf was probably $20, and this one was, I want to say at least 60 or 70 pounds. So it wasn't a cheapie. But at that point, again, I really didn't want to buy a random thing. I wanted to buy something that I would want to cherish and take care of and wear with pleasure. So these soft, absolutely divine merino wool, that was it for me. So absolutely love it. So you see, we're kind of like dressing up a very simple yet texturally diverse monochromatic outfit here. Now welcome the star of this Snow by a Year clothing haul. So this is one very expensive purchase that I made. I had a professional anniversary to celebrate alongside with a few other events in my life, and I decided that it was worth it. Saks Fifth Avenue in New York, that one actually is on Fifth Avenue. They do these seasonal sales on the top floor, and it's still very pricey. If you just generally go to TK Maxx and thrift stores, it's still going to be way more expensive than one would be willing to spend, but they do have a good selection. So this was the last one, and I actually looked online. This is Acris. This is a designer natural fur coat. I think this is lamb wool with leather, and this is also a reversible design. So let me show you how it looks like. So this is one of those super trendy cases. I know that basically we are exiting the winter, but like as soon as I bought it, which was in January, I wore it just every day. Every day that was cold enough to wear it, I wore it. It's a very rare case of a fur coat that is fitted. Most of the time, fur is not really friendly for very fitted silhouettes unless you use it as a applique, like as a accent patch here and there, but otherwise then it's some other material. When the coat is fully made of fur, it's almost always a more shapeless or even more round or boxy frame, because it's very hard to fit fur. It's not a friendliest material for an hourglass silhouette, so to speak. Most of the time people just will then belt them or do something like that. So this Acris piece, which is again a beautiful smoky gray, goes almost, yeah, like I think you can see it is up to my knee. This is actually fitted. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I actually haven't seen a lot of examples like that. I must say, I gained a little bit of weight, so it's a little bit tight on me, but I don't care. I just love it too much. I just love it so, so, so much so. I wear it either way. Yep. When I was in Milan, and like, God save Italy, now like it just breaks my heart because I just was there in December. Little did we know what would happen after the Christmas, and I absolutely fell in love with Milan. There is so much vibrant street fashion. There's so much youthful energy there. It's beautiful, beautiful city that has a little bit of everything that you can think of. And I completely fell in love with how Italian women were wearing fur coats, because it's mostly now European trend. I haven't really seen any of the faux fur or any fur coats taking front and center of winter fashion here in the United States. However, in Western Europe, it's all over. Like everybody has a fur coat or some kind of like teddy bear type of coat. So I was very inspired, and when I came to London, I decided, all right, this is one designer piece that I'll get. So their original price, I'm gonna try to show you the reversed version. The original price of this was almost $4,000. I would never have bought it for $4,000, to be honest. It's just not practical enough for my wardrobe. But on sale, I think I got it with tax, let's say $1,100. Roughly. Yeah, so it's obviously, if you wear it as a reverse, it becomes much smaller, so it's a little bit too tight for me. If I was to wear it like this, I would probably not even try. Well, first of all, you need to add the buttons here, but I probably wouldn't even add any buttons. I would just wear it as is, or I would wear it with a belt. At least that's how I'm thinking of wearing it. Let me try to show you the full effect. I like it both ways. And I mostly wore it as a fur coat just because I absolutely love the fur effect. Yep, that's what we have here. This is just like my treasure, my prized possession. Okay, so this was a very expensive purchase for me, but it was planned for because I did want to find a good fur coat, and it was very incremental to, I don't have anything of this kind. However, I did ended up decluttering one coat that I want to show you. Granted, it's very difficult to actually get rid of coats. I don't know about you, but for me, I have this weird thing, well, I can still wear it, and sometimes I get stuck with the outwear that I already fell out of love with for years, but because it's just wears and wears. Like it doesn't really, I don't know, like I don't have a lot of cases when outwear went bad on me or where I got any holes or anything. So essentially you have to declutter it just because you got tired of it. So this is the coat that I decided to get rid of. It's a really interesting design. As you can see, it's like a baby doll behind, and it goes a little bit lower here, but it's still more or less a baby doll design. It served me well. It has very interesting pattern here as well. I think I got it from Nordstrom for their anniversary sale at some point, 40% off. It served me really well. I traveled in it. There are so many good memories that I have with this coat, but to be honest, in person, I know camera is very forgiving when it comes to clothing. You can show people absolute piece of garbage and it still will look okay if it's, interesting pattern or bright color. In person though, it already is showing the signs of wear. It has a lot of lint. It's kind of like doesn't really hold its shape anymore. And I did try to do dry cleaning and take care of it, but in many ways I think this is time to say goodbye, and I hope that when I donate it, it'll find a loving second home. A few more European purchases. I took my favorite winter socks with me and basically wore them to shreds during the trip. One of the things that are super important if you're traveling for a long time is, if you can afford in terms of space, to have a dedicated set of home clothing, something warm, cozy, and super soft. So part of that for me is winter socks. And when I realized that this is just embarrassing, like there are so many holes in them that I couldn't even, they didn't even fulfill their function of keeping my feet warm, I decided that I would buy a replacement. And it so happened that I managed to just buy two instead of one replacement. So that's that. I'm just like stating the facts here. Breaks my heart because I did it in Milan, and again, every time I think of Italy these days, the only thing the only thing we can do is to send our love. Maybe if there is way to donate and help, do something like that. But yeah, these are warm memories from Italy. I got in December 2 winter socks there in their very, very central department store, which is gorgeous. It's right near the Milano Duomo, like the big church in the center. So these ones are black with sort of like a fleece inside. They have these kind of like sticky little resinous patches so you don't slip and fall. And the other pair is even more special. So this actually, I don't remember who's designer, but like it's a designer sock. So basically this is merino wool with silk. Can you believe that? They're so soft. Oh my God, they are so soft. So this is the kind that I got. I really enjoyed wearing them with black tights and like a black winter dress, or with black leggings and like a tunic with this kind of elements of color. So they're kind of fun. I really like them. Yeah, I don't know why I'm showing songs, but this was a big deal for me because when I do have a favorite piece of clothing, I'm sure you can understand, like replacing that with something else is a big deal. It's almost like a new chapter in your life. So some of my favorite pieces of clothing are my home clothing, the pieces that I just feel the most comfortable, cozy, and loved in. And replacing my winter socks was a big deal, and I decided to have memories of being in Milan in winter for Christmas, so that's my memories.